We welcome in Jamie Richards on the phone. Jamie, what side of the Tasman do we reach you at?
Morning, Aidan. Yeah, I'm in Matamata this morning. Dad's got Melbourne under control and Livy's headed away to Otaki. So we've got them spread far and wide today, but it's not a bad problem to have.
Absolutely. Richard's family out in force. Let's first of all touch on Melodic Bell. What are the reports from Dad?
Yeah, really happy with her. Took a few days to get settled, but when we upped her work late last week, she really started to thrive in the feed bin, and that's always a really good sign for her. So, look, she's a little bit vulnerable today. First up at 14, and a couple of the favourites have already had a run over 1200, but we're really pleased with her, and we think she's close enough to the mark.
Absolutely. We're having a look at the trial from Tauranga, Jamie. Obviously, they went really hard with She's On Mine leading them up. We've got a proven sprint force in Bostonian winning the trial. What did you make of Melodic Bell's effort for running third?
Initially, I was a touch disappointed, but we, had a look at the time and the sectionals, and they went really hard early and beaten by a Stradbroke winner and an up-and-coming sprinter in She's On Mine. So I thought she trialled well. She improved a lot for that. She'd had an exhibition gallop at Ellerslie beforehand, and float up to the airport and plane right over, and Caulfield for a gallop. She shouldn't be far away.
Okay, when we look at her sort of preparation for, say, the Foxbridge Plate, and I know that was sort of a wet track and sort of the end of winter, she'd had two trials that probably weren't as good as the exhibition gallop and the trial that she's had. So does that suggest she's in a more forward position than, say, she was going into the Foxbridge?
It's hard to say until you get them out there under race day conditions, but notably before the Foxbridge she had a quiet trial, and she was down to have a good trial at Te Akau, and she got caught down on the worst of the ground and just couldn't get out and have a crack at them. So she really only had two very quiet 800-900 metre trials before the Foxbridge, and she was half a one short. We've been very keen to not see that happen again, and we've tried to keep her up to the mark as best as we can. And I think it is a little bit easier on horses at this time of the year, preparing them. You've got the plough, you've got sun on their back, they're eating well, they're really thriving, whereas in the early part of the spring or the late winter they're coming out of a pretty wet and cold winter, and their coats aren't that good. So I think it is a little bit easier to prepare them at this time of the year.
Okay, yeah, Jamie, how do you see the race panning out?
Look, I think Opie's just I haven't given him any instructions. He'll just be forward. We'll work it out. She's probably going to be third or fourth, somewhere there. Hopefully she can stay one off. If she ends up in the trial and Super Seth comes across, we'll just need a little bit of luck in the straight. But she'll be forward and running, and hopefully they go along a bit.
We've just seen that market for the All-Star Mole. What do you do between today and then?
No, she'll just tick over. 3 weeks is beautiful spacing for her. She'll just build in like she normally does, and if we think that she needs one, she can have an exhibition gallop a week out, but we won't be changing too much to what she does.
Just one target in Melbourne today, one target at Otaki as well, but you're going down there with two horses, Prise de Feu and also Avantage. How's the pair of them prepared for this?
Yeah, they've prepared well. Slightly different preparations for them. Prise de Feu's coming back in trips, so his work's been sharp enough. And Avantage is getting out to a trip that she hasn't been seen over before, so her work has been stretched out a little bit. But I've certainly been very pleased with how both horses have prepared. They've eaten well, and they've travelled down safely to Roydens there at Palmerston yesterday, and Kate Belsham and Trevor Stewart, they're both happy with them this morning.
You're talking about Rodenbergson. There's a bit of word today that his son has joined Te Akau stable, a guy with a pretty good background by the sound of it.
Yeah, Sam started here on Monday, and he came off the same scholarship that I did, the Sunline Scholarship, which I think is a fantastic opportunity for young people in this industry. And he's a bloke that's got a bright future in front of him, and we need young people like that coming through, and hopefully he's going to be a big help to us in the years to come.
Okay, good. Sam Bergerson joining Te Akau there as well. Okay, we've heard from Stephen Hunt, Jamie, that Prise de Feu has taken 6 times more money than Avantage. What do we take out of that from the stable?
Well, I think that's probably a vote of confidence for Prise de Feu that he's up to weight for age, and importantly, they haven't had the rain, which I think probably swings in his favour a little bit more. So got a very good action and appreciates the better ground, albeit a winner on a slow track in 72 grade. But I think that the track there is holding at a 6, maybe a 7 at worst, and hopefully for his sake it does stay there. Avantage, I really can't fault her. Her work's been good. She should be able to handle the slow track conditions, no problem. She's got a nice jockey and a jockey that knows her, having ridden her last time. So I think they're both going to be really competitive.
Jamie, you've kicked off the season with a Group 1 win to Avantage, a Group 1 win to Te Akau Shark. You've got 3 Group 1 chances today. Melody Bell's round about that $3 mark, and you've got the other 2 a little bit longer. Who is your best chance of adding to your Group 1 haul today of those 3?
I'd be going with Avantage. Melody Bell's in Melbourne, some of the best racing in the world. Prix de Fer, he's had a great campaign. Stepped up through handicap, set weights and penalties last time, and now up against the big boys. Whereas Avantage is proven, champion 2-year-old, group winner in Sydney last year, winner of the Telegraph, very good in the BCD sprint. Yeah, I think she's really going well for this race today.
Okay, liking that. Let's get you through your Matamata runners. Jamie, first of all, we kick off with the Group 3 Waikato Studs Slipper. You've got Cool as a Beal, the Karaka Million winner at 140. The danger is the stablemate, Need I Say More, who was terrific last time out. How are you assessing them?
Cool as a Beal's had a good prep. He had a week in the paddock after the Karaka Million, and he's done well since. And he's the class horse of the field. I think he's going to be very hard to beat. Need I Say More's on the way up. He won a maiden there last time, but did it impressively, and we like the second horse that he beat. So I don't think there's going to be a lot between them, but Cool as a Bill, he's a class horse, and we've always had a lot of time for him.
Okay, how do you ride the pair of them today?
They'll both be going forward. I'm hoping that McNabb can hold the rail, and the chestnut horse should be able to sit outside him.
Okay, interesting take on that. Let's move you on to the next of the stakes races that concerns you, the Matamata Victor Services Kaimai Stakes at listed level. 2 runners here, Scott Base and Te Akau Caulfield. How have they prepared for this one, Jamie?
Yeah, they've both prepared well as well. Scott Base, he's got a few little problems that need managing, but we are happy with his soundness and he's going well. He gets back a little bit in the running and he's got a big weight, so he's going to need a bit of luck on the side. Kelly Byrne's a very progressive horse. Dave bought him as a Melbourne Cup type out of Europe, and he really has got a bright future in front of him, hopefully. So I would have been quite confident with him if he had drawn a barrier, but unfortunately he's going to have to go back with the Auckland Cup as his target in a couple of weeks. I think if we went forward and got caught wide, we'd never forgive ourselves, so we've just got to be a little bit patient with him today, and he'll go back. Needs to rely on a bit of tempo, but there is some speed in the race, and he'll be really getting home late.
Bookie's struggling to split them. Which one are you sort of leaning towards there, Jamie?
I think Kelly Byrne's a horse on the way up, and he needs to be running very well today to be going to the Auckland Cup.
Only non-stakes runner for the day is leaderboard in the last. Your thoughts there?
Got a lot of time for him. He let us down at Tiara last time, and we struggled to understand why he did that. But we've just given him a little bit of time. We've got him back left-handed and back in 72 grade with a senior rider on, and he's got to carry a little bit of weight there. But we thought he was an Auckland Cup horse this year. We might be a year too soon, but we've certainly got a high opinion of him and hoping that he can turn his form around.
Absolutely. Jamie, huge day of racing for you and the Te Akau racing team. We wish you all the best and appreciate your time here on the Punters Lounge Live this morning.